Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the National League Rugby Review Show. Our weekend's action kicked off under the Friday night lights at Old Bath Road as Rams took on Chinnor in our National League Rugby live stream. Highlights of that match to come later on and so much more, but our attention starts with our key game in National 2 East and it's a top of the table battle as Worthing Raiders hosted Dorking. The Red and Whites jumped into the silver medal spot last weekend following a thumping win over Westcliff. Dorking began the day 9 points behind table toppers Blackheath and were on a run of 4 straight wins with prolific winger Toby McRae in scintillating form. As for Worthing, last week's defeat to Blackheath meant they began the afternoon in 4th and 13 points adrift of the league leaders, having played a game more. Could the hosts respond to keep their title ambitions alive? There'll be Dorking to get us underway here in Sussex. The Red and Whites, the visitors, looking for the right performance and the right result to keep them on the tails of Blackheath, and it's a right result for kickoff here. Dorking picking up possession immediately. Davis looking for quick ball now for Worthing, looking to maybe go out to the right hand side, but it's going to be intercepted and it's going to be Jasper King to give Dorking the ideal start here around Stone Lane, and it's Jasper King to dot down. Diversion to come for Dorking and it is successful. What a start for the visitors. And now it's Sims for Worthing. That's a good carry from the Raiders centre. Now they're looking to switch the ball to the right hand side. It's Curtis Barnes with a lovely step inside, and the prolific Curtis Barnes gets Worthing right back into this game. Great response from the hosts.
Come on, lads.
No mistake from McLean, and we're all square. Dominating opening quarter here in Sussex, and it's Dorking's turn now back on the attack, looking to pick and go and keep things narrow at the moment. Will they look to maybe go a bit expansive and go out wide, or will they keep it nice and narrow? And they're going to keep it narrow. It's going to be Fred Dalton who's over. That's going to be Wilson again from the tee, and no problem at all. Dorking back in front. And Dorking once again finding themselves in a very promising position here, and the scrum looks good and the penalty is coming. It's going to be Jackson. Will he look to go out wide? Jackson, he goes alone, and Dorking score again. 19-7 to Dorking, and a breathtaking opening 25 minutes here at round Stone Lane. What can Worthing Raiders do? We've already seen them respond once. Can they do it again? They're looking to go out wide on this left-hand side now, and they are going to make a break down the left-hand side. It's Connor Slevlin who's in support, and it's going to be the Worthing fly half to touchdown. And on 28 minutes, we have another Worthing try. What a game we are having here. And McLean will add the extras. This would be the ideal time for Worthing Raiders to score again with 1 minute to go until the break, and they're going to rumble forward now. Elliot Luke in the driving seat. Davis comes in to offer some support. I don't think Dorking will stop this. It's going to be Elliot Luke, is it? It is Elliot Luke. And that is Luke with a try on his 150th National League appearance. And well, we saw what the damage Worthing did in this position in the first half, and it's now Dorking's turn to make some inroads, and rather than going straight to the driving more, they're looking to work it towards the sticks here, and they're looking to keep things narrow as they did in the opening 40. Will the Red and Whites profit this time? It is Howarth who sneaks in over on the left hand side, and it will be Wilson again, and the conversion is good, and Dorking retake the lead. So with 10 minutes to go here, this has been a fascinating contest between these two National 2 East sides. Which way will it go? And Worthing now with a strong carry. McLean does well to keep hold of the ball. And McLean, who scored a great try against Blackheath last week, looking to go alone. Stopped well by Dorking, but the pressure is still coming. Here's Jack Forrest. Forrest steps inside, and Forrest will score for the home side. And McLean now to take the conversion, and it takes Worthing 2 points clear. And now Worthing are looking to seal the deal here. Can they rubber stamp this victory? And they're going close. Still not quite over the line yet. A crowd of bodies there getting stuck in. It's very difficult to see who might have their hands on the ball here. Worthing trying to inch their way ever closer to the try line. And they're being held up really well. There's good slow ball from Dorking, but a penalty's coming for offside. And Worthing will have a chance here. And it's going to be Ashworth who's over though. And McLean now to send Worthing clear. And Worthing have got the conversion. And they have also got the 5 points.
We knew it was going to be tough. I mean, when we went to their place at the start of the season, You know, they played well and done us, but we knew it was a bit more personal today. A bit of a local derby here, and for 80 minutes we just dug deep. Perhaps against the all times, but 1-15, the finishes that came on at the end, it was class. Yeah, 80 minutes all round, so really happy.
Something a bit different now on the National League Rugby Review Show. National 2 East has been one of the most exciting leagues this year, and one of the teams currently in the division are Old Albanian. Our very own Joe Harvey caught up with one of their old boys and current England star Max Malins to discuss the value of National League Rugby and how it aided his progression to the international stage.
When you look back with fond memories, really, I think it was a crucial time for me coming out of school, and that was my sort of first taste of men's rugby. So yeah, I was obviously a 10 back there at the time, so it was a big step for me was sort of game management. Obviously coming out of school where you don't really think of that, you're just thinking about scoring tries and playing from anywhere. That was a big turning point where I had to sort of study the game a bit more, understand what to do, when and where. So that was a big part of it, and obviously going into an environment where you don't really know necessarily many of the guys. They were all very welcoming. Had a good coach in James Shanahan, who instilled a lot of belief and confidence in me. So yeah, I had a great time. I was obviously there on loan with some other young Sarries players as well. I think at the time it was Matt Gallagher and a few others as well. So no, it was a really enjoyable time. As you said, if there aren't sort of loan clubs that we can go to, we don't get many minutes. So to be able to still get 80 minutes under my belt every week in, week out, I think it was crucial for me.
And it can't be ignored, at the end of that season, there was a pretty big game. Making it to the National 2 playoff for a place in National 1 is quite an exciting thing in itself. But then to win it in such a dominant fashion over Sedgley Park Tigers, again, fond memories. But, you know, it must have been some sort of celebration and relief to you, having, you know, committed so much to the team that season, even England under 20s in the middle of all that. Yeah,
no, it was brilliant. Thing at the time was there was a slight bit of disappointment as I wasn't able to travel to France I think it's the same day as obviously Saracens played Racing to lift the first European trophies, European Cup. So at the time I was a bit disappointed to be missing that, but no, to have the chance of playing in a playoff game and to get the club promoted, which I knew it meant a lot to a lot of lads who were there, who'd been there a long time and been pushing for it. And to able to celebrate our own glory on that day was really, really pleasing. So yeah, despite missing out on the Saracen celebrations, we managed to have our own Old Albanian celebrations instead. So yeah, it was always nice.
Yeah, you definitely had the best of both worlds there. Texts coming from all over the shop on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose, obviously, moving forward, have you kind of been quite proactive with speaking to younger players about, you know, taking the best of these opportunities? Because I know that plenty of the young lads that come through at Saracens over the years have still been going on loan. Obviously, Manu Vanapola went to Bishop Stortford, and you know there's so many stories of these lads that have gone out elsewhere. Have you been quite proactive in encouraging younger lads to take the most of those opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's obviously been a difficult time recently with COVID, where loan clubs haven't really been able to be a thing over the last few seasons. Obviously, returned this season, but you just see the growth that it gives to young lads to go out and play. You see lads coming in the mornings and reviewing their clips from the weekend, whether it's Ampthill, Stortford, whoever it is. And I'm always keeping an eye out for those, how they're doing. There's quite a lot of Felsted people who which is the school I went to. A lot of those lads are on loan to the places like Stortford and Ampthill, so always keeping an eye out for how they're going and whether they're enjoying it and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a massive part of growing as a young rugby player.
Many thanks to Max and the England Rugby Media team for their time this week. Max is just one of many players who have shone in levels 3 and 4, and the current crop of stars in National 1 were on display on Friday night in front of our cameras where Rams hosted Chinnor. Steve Jackson brings you highlights from that game and the rest of the fixtures in National 1.
And in front of the National League Rugby cameras, this game certainly didn't disappoint. League leaders Rams were looking to extend their advantage at the top of the table, but fell behind after just 5 minutes when Will Ryan powered over for Chinnor. However, Rams' response was emphatic as Seb Reynolds' men wrapped up the bonus point with debutant Zach Clow making it 24-7. The table toppers scored 2 further tries before the break. Despite Chinnor going on to secure a well-deserved bonus point, Rams showed their class. The highlight of the night may well have been just before the hour, as a quite remarkable run from prop James Baker set up Ollie Cole's try to send the home faithful into raptures.
Bit of a blur, so they ran through, got the break, and I was just on his shoulder, and he saw me pass to me, and so I saw the space, and you run for it. So you go through that space, and there's more space in front of you, and all you're thinking is go, 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 go. And I think their fullback came to tackle me, and I was brought back the years when I was a younger lad playing sevens and made a little step. Probably didn't expect it, and got him a short arm, and I thought, oh God, he didn't tackle me. What do I do now? Go, 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 keep going. And getting near the try line, I was running out of gas and thought, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to make it. Looking left and right, saw nothing to my right. Looked to my left, saw Ollie Cole. He was going, Baker, Baker. So everyone said I shouldn't have passed it, I might have made it. But it's a team game, and what's better? I mean, not quite making it, dropping the ball, or if I got that pass and us scoring, that was the better option. So I passed to Ollie and got the try, and it looked quite spectacular, I think.
From the top to the bottom we go, and Darlington Modem Park were looking to create a buffer between themselves and the relegation scrap, and the North East outfit got to work early on against bottom of the table Hull, with Yari Fantini's first of 2 tries making it 26 to the hosts at the break. Mike Adlar did get one back for Hull not long after half-time, but a brace for centre Ben Frankland and one for winger Ollie Walker saw DMP surpass the half-century and secure their first win for just over 2 months. With Rams taking care of their own job on Friday, the attention around the title race turned to Grantchester Road, with Cambridge hosting Bishop Stortford. But the home side had it all to do heading into the interval, as a double for Dan Powell and one for Jacob Rafter saw Stortford lead 22-7. However, Ben Brownlee scored just before half-time set the platform for Richie Williams' side, as tries from Kieran Duffin and Seb Brownhill saw them move 26-22 ahead. Stortford responded well, as 16 points from Connor Lloyd meant the visitors led 38-33, but the promotion challengers showed their character, as Brownlee's third on 79 minutes snatched what could be a crucial victory. There was also late drama at Dockham Road as Cinderford and Taunton Titans locked horns. 3 first-half tries, including one apiece for George Woyboys and Sam Leeworthy, saw Taunton hold a 12-point advantage going into the second period. Harry Hone and James Forrester replied for Cinderford to nudge themselves in front, but this back-and-forth contest continued until the hour. In the final quarter, the hosts ultimately landed the decisive blow, with James Williams going over for their 6th try of the afternoon. Taunton did have the chance to rescue a draw in Gloucestershire, but Shea Boddick's score 1 minute from time wasn't converted, meaning the Titans had to settle for 2 points. There might have been only 4 games in National 1, but there was plenty of high quality on display, with every result affecting the league standings. Rams' Friday night success means they're now 6 points clear at the summit, with Cambridge now up to 2nd ahead of Sale FC. Cinderford's win keeps them 5th. At the bottom, Taunton's result means they're now 6 points from safety, while Darlington Modem Park are 11 points clear of the drop zone after that triumph over Hull.
Let's go into National 2 North now, and with just 2 miles separating the two sides, Sheffield hosted Sheffield Tigers at Aberdale Park. With not much separating them in terms of distance, at Aberdale Park it was the boot of Mark Island that split Sheffield and Sheffield Tigers. 11 points on the tee, alongside Jamie Broadley's try, put the Tigers 16-0 in front, but the hosts responded through Sam Graham. The 2 further penalties from Ireland before Will Archer's effort kept the away side in control. Graham notched his 2nd for Sheffield, but the afternoon ended how it started, with Ireland pinging over another penalty, which meant the fly-off also became the all-time top point scorer in National 2. Two sides in excellent form now, as Huddersfield hosted Otley at Lockwood Park. It was the visitors who held the lead at half-time, thanks to Brett Mitchell's try and the boot of Joe Rowntree. Luke Pearson and Rob Jennings went over the field, but 2 tries in 6 minutes from Clark Wells and Ryan Gibson made it 22-15 to Otley. Huddersfield then made it level, but with 7 minutes remaining, up stepped Gavin Stead as the centre for Otley made sure they clinched the win, the bonus point, and a 10th success on the trot. League leaders Sedgley Park were looking to remain in top spot in National 2 North, but this was a far from comfortable afternoon for the Tigers. The table toppers fell behind to Harrison their score, but Sedge responded well, with Matt Riley and Danny Mayer making it 14-10. Andy Riley and Alec Croft exchanged tries as this contest remained tight heading into the final 10 minutes, but scores from Valutane Bentley and Jacob Tanzi saw the Tigers take the game away from Chester and make it 17 straight wins.
It was a tough game for us today at home against Chester. They started the brighter, they went 10-0 up pretty quickly, which wasn't an ideal start for us, especially at home. We knew exactly what to expect from Chester. You know, they're a tough side, they got threats all over the pitch and they worked really hard for each other. We managed to regroup and go in at half-time 1 point ahead. And then in that second half, I think the main difference was our subs. The 5 lads that came on brought a lot of energy, enthusiasm and managed to get us over the line for a bonus point win, which was the most important thing.
With title rival Sedge taking care of their own job, Fire were looking to do something similar against local rivals Preston Grasshoppers. To say this turned out to be another classic Lancashire derby would be an understatement, and it was Fylde who led 24-15 at the break. A fifth score for Fylde kept them in control, but their grip on proceedings vanished as 2 tries from winger Will Clapham made it 29-all with 5 minutes to go. Would there be a derby hero? The answer was yes, as Fylde fly half Greg Smith kept his cool at the death to slot a match-winning penalty. After last week's win over relegation rivals Blaydon, Harrogate were looking to bolster their survival hopes when they visited Wharfdale, but 2 yellow cards in the first half hindered their chances. Josh Prell and Henry McNabe helped Dale into a 16-0 lead before the break, but after the half-time oranges, Harrogate came out fighting. 2 Rory McNabe penalties and a try from number 8 Harrison Walker cut the deficit to 5 points, but Owen Bullock's try 9 minutes from time sealed back-to-back wins for Wharfdale. 77 points and 11 tries were shared between Rotherham and Hull Ionians, with Gary Pearce recording his first win as the Titans' boss. Callum Bustin, Gareth Denman and Matt Challoner went over in the first period for Rotherham as they held a 21-10 lead. Lewis Minikin had notched all of the Ices' points, but the Titans pressed home their advantage. Tyler Heeles and Jack Townend did get on the score sheet for Hull Ionians, but further efforts from Tomase Tanumi, Lloyd Hayes and Zach Poole made sure Pearce's men took their spot in the winners' lounge once again. And we finish in the North East, where bottom of the table Blaydon defeated Tynedale to record just their second win of the campaign. A brilliant first half display, which included tries from James Cooney and John Clarkson, made it 21-0 to Sam Stewart's side at the break. Lewis Franklin and Darren Fern traded tries, and despite Tynedale managing to salvage a bonus point from this home derby encounter, Blaydon had done enough to seal their first win since the end of October. It might have been a rest week across National League Rugby, but all 14 teams in National 2 North were in action on Saturday. Sedge remain a point clear at the top, with the focus narrowing in on their possible title decider with Fylde at the beginning of March. At the bottom, Blaydon's win means they are now 13 points from safety, while Preston's 2 points at Fylde means they are 10 clear of the bottom 2. As for Harrogate, they still have their game in hand to come. After seeing 2 of the top 4 in our key game, our attention in National 2 East begins with league leaders Blackheath, who hosted Sevenoaks as they look to strengthen their position at the top of the table.
Where better to start than at Well Hall, the fortress of our league leaders, and Blackheath blasted out of the blocks to secure their 5th bonus point win of 2023. Most of the action unfolded in the first 40 minutes, as the home side scored 4 tries, including this from Andrew Denham, while Alex Harris, James Catt and Tom Baldwin also crossed. Despite a try at the death via Alexi Hicken, Sevenoaks were no match for Blackheath, who now find themselves 13 points clear after Dorking came up short against Worthing. Over in the west, Henley Hawks were making light of mid-table rivals Old Albanian. Max Titchener could do no wrong, scoring over half of the Hawks' points at Dryleys. But Henley's half-time lead was slim thanks to Jordan Evans scoring for Old Oways. However, this tight game was short-lived as Zach Taylor scored this absolute belter with an outrageous dummy. Henley outclassed Oways in the second half, and it seemed only fitting that Titchener would score the bonus point try for his side, meaning Henley leapfrog Oways in the table. Finally, we head to North Walsham. Despite last week's win over Rochford 100, the home side couldn't build on that performance as Bury St Edmunds scored 28 unanswered points to race clear. A Dan Smith try would make it 28-12, but that would be the lot for North Walsham as Bury answered through Samir Kabouch. Matt Bursey was on fire throughout the match, terrifying the North Walsham defence, and with just under 10 minutes to go, he was rewarded with his hat-trick, capping off a fine afternoon. Just 4 games in National 2 East this weekend, but we had some crucial results across the board in terms of both the title race and the relegation battle. Blackheath's win combined with Dorking's loss means James Shanahan's men are 13 points clear at the top, with Worthing now up to 3rd, albeit having played a game more. At the bottom, North Walsham's defeat means they remain 3 points from safety, with Rochford 100, Sevenoaks and Canterbury still in their sights.
And we finish in National 2 West, and we start with an old Redcliffian side who are looking to build on last week's win over Exeter when they travelled to Hinckley. After last week's win over Exeter University, all Redcliffians were looking to continue moving in the right direction, and the Bristol outfit got off to a flying start against Hinckley, with Sam Rees going over after just 45 seconds. Dan Thurston also helped himself to a try in a strong first half for Old Reds, but Hinckley sparked into life after the interval. Archie Hurd opened the Hornets' account, but his afternoon sadly ended early as the fly-half's leg was trapped awkwardly in a tackle, which unfortunately resulted in a dislocated ankle and a broken leg. Everyone at National League Rugby wishes Archie a speedy recovery. The game was suspended and moved to the old first 15 pitch, where Hinckley were able to see out the match following Mitch Lamb's try and 2 penalties from Joe Wilson. Following on from a successful January, Redruth were looking to extend their winning run to 5 matches, but they had to come from behind against Exeter University. Edward Volley and Josh Thorne put Keith Fleming's boys 12-0 in front, but a crucial response before half-time for Redruth was a shot in the arm they needed. Mackenzie Oliver dotted down, and 3 tries in the second half from Ben Fox, Sam Stevens and Dan Rutter made sure the Reds maintained their recent good form, while it is now just 1 win in 4 for Exeter. With Leicester Lions extending their advantage at the top of National 2 West last week, Clifton were looking to reel them back in when they faced Dings Crusaders. But the title challengers left themselves with a mountain to climb as Dings raced into a 17-0 lead thanks to scores from Lewis Beer and Solomon Talfa. Clifton did react, but they were 24-12 behind at the start of the second half. However, the Lavender and Blacks clicked into gear as Alex Hellman and Andrew Davis helped the hosts into a 2-point lead. But there was to be a twist in the tail at Station Road as Bath Loney Kieran Donoghue stayed cool under pressure to land a penalty 6 minutes from time to seal the Derby Day spoils and dent Clifton's promotion hopes. And we finish at Mortimer Park, where Barnstaple were looking to bounce back after a defeat to relegation rivals Hornets when they took on Luctonians. However, the Chiefs were blown away by their hosts in the opening 40, as tries from Josh Watkins, James Wheeler, Rob Aikman and Aidan Cheshire gave them a healthy 22-3 advantage. Jacob Murphy and Tom Clark did get on the score sheet for Barnstaple in the second period, but 3 more tries for Lux added to a successful afternoon for Ryan Watkins' men. Like in National 2 East, there were only 4 games in the West, with teams looking to take advantage of their games in hand. Clifton's loss to Dings Crusaders means they are now 12 points behind Leicester Lions, with a side set to do battle at the end of the month, while Redruth and Hinckley sit in 4th and 5th respectively. At the bottom, back-to-back losses for Barnstaple means they remain 3 points above the bottom 2, but Bourville have played a game less in this compelling relegation fight. Well, that's it for this week on the National League Rugby Review Show as Worthing dent Dorking's promotion bid. Many thanks to everyone again who tuned in to our live stream on Friday night of Rams vs Chinnor in National 1, and a full replay of the game is available now on our homepage. We'll see you next week.